Alright guys, hope you're doing well. So in this video, I'm about to give you the copy and paste sales infrastructure that you can literally plug into your business to scale to 100K a month and above. And as simple as this may look, I'm going to go in depth and provide as much value as I can around all of these different checkpoints in the sales process so that you can literally apply all of the in-depth information into your business and scale to that 100K a month mark, as I mentioned previously, and even above it. Okay, now, before I jump into that, why should you listen to me? My name is Leo. I'm the founder of Closer, a sales and marketing consulting firm. And so far, across all of our clients and partners, we've done around $3 million in sales. So I know a little bit when it comes to scaling businesses. You might want to listen to me. And right before I do jump into everything else, right? Final thing, all right? I do have two links in the video description below that you can click on, okay? One goes to my complete free newsletter on LinkedIn, okay? That one is completely free, has much more in-depth information than my YouTube videos, and it's completely free to join. And you get newsletters every single week, okay? It's super value-packed stuff that you want to implement into your business. You can, that's totally cool. And the second link goes to my website. Now, if you guys are already running a business and you want to scale to 100K a month and above, then you can click on my website and apply to work with myself and my team to scale to 100K a month and above every single month. Okay, now let's jump right into the video. Now, the most important thing in this process is actually at the very end, which is the tracking sheet, which I'll get to in just a little bit. But this is going to be your sales process. So you're going to have a lead that opts in, whether it's through an ad, LinkedIn, SMS, Instagram, whatever it is. Now, the most important thing is converting that lead into a booked call. So what we need is some sort of setter, triager, whatever it is. We need someone to do all of the communication here. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a setter into your business. You can go through three places that I'm about to mention. Onlinejobs.ph. You can hire a very, very cost-effective, cheap VA. Not going to cost you much. Two, you can go to Closify if you want a high-level setter from the UK or the US. Luke Alexander, that's his platform. It's very, very good. I've used it before, and it's very, very solid. I've gotten some pretty good talent from there. And then the final and third thing, you can go to Upwork. That always works. It's a great place for recruitment. Just people, from all different backgrounds. It's not just centralized to the Philippines, but it has people from all over the world looking for appointment setting positions, UK, US, at a much lower rate than Closify. Closify is probably the best out of the three in terms of talent and overall chances of finding someone who's a killer and A player. But if you just want, someone who is good and also an A player, but it's going to be harder to find and is cheaper, then I would recommend that you go to Upwork and onlinejobs.ph. Now, once you have that setter and they've booked in a call with that lead, what you're going to do is you're going to set up the automations that go back into a tracking sheet. Some, kind of like this one that I'm about to show on your screen right here. So prospect details, booking status, and then show status, and then close status. But how do we automate that entire sales tracking sheet, right? How do we do that? Well, I'm going to give you access, and I'm actually going to link this video down in the description below of this YouTube video. It's gold dust, right? It is amazing. Gives you a lot more insight as to how you can automate your sales, track your sales, so that you can make more logical decisions, not emotional ones, so that you can actually optimize for the right thing. Because a lot of the time, at least in my experience of scaling different businesses, making emotional decisions is what leads to lack of growth, lack of progress, because we're not making data-driven statistical information. We're making decisions based on our emotions, on our heart, on our gut, which is not how businesses are run. If you want to run an emotionally based business, you can go and start your own clinic, right? But that's different. Now, if you're looking to run an agency, something else, you want to make logical decisions. We all know this, right? Now, I'm going to give you some sauce, right? I read an article the other day. You have three types of prospects. One prospect is someone who doesn't know anything about you, and their value on the sales call is around $100. That's like cost of acquisition taken into account, like their value overall, it's $100, right? You have another prospect Type 2, which knows a little bit about your business, like some of it, but they could still like forget about it on the sales call, and you might still need to fill in some gaps of information for them. Their value is around $300 in terms of cost of acquisition, overall value, right? And there's the third prospect, right, which knows everything about your business. They've consumed 8+ hours of your content, and they're basically already pre-sold, right? Now their value is $3,000. Right? And that's just by redirecting them to valuable, high converting sales asset content that they can watch before your sales call, consume, and then be pre-sold, so that by the sales call, you've provided so much value, so many actionable steps that they can already implement into their business that already converts them, right? So that call basically turns from a demo to more of like a payment collection call, like a sales call, like an actual sales call, rather than having to run them through the entire program again and doing like a 2-call close process. But it also depends on what you're selling, right? Because if it's B2B, sometimes you do require a 2-call close process, but a high converting sales asset video always helps, right? Now, some more sauce. You want to make sure that after the call has been booked with the lead, that the setter always gives them a warm call before closing. And this is what's going to allow you to redirect your users and your audience to the content, right? And it will ensure that they kind of go onto your YouTube page or whatever it is that you want them to go onto and click into, right? So obviously on the warm call, you can basically train your setter, or if it's yourself, that's totally fine. You could basically go about it like, hey Lisa, hope you're doing well. Just wanted to confirm that we're all good for this call. I'm going to send you the meeting link right now. Have you had a chance to look at XYZ, right? But what you can do to go a step further is this, right? You can actually say, hey, Lisa, I just wanted to double check that you've received the, video on how you can build out an amazing sales process for your coaching business, right? Have you had a chance to look at that? Okay, perfect. I'm about to send you a link via SMS. If you could watch that right now before our sales call, that would be amazing. Now, we have their attention for around 15 to 20 minutes if they can click into that YouTube video or whatever the video is hosted on, right? And they watch that video, and it's almost like they're basically like being redirected, and there's a higher chance of them watching that video because you're actually speaking to them on the phone, right? And then you can wait until they've clicked into it to end the call, right? And basically you can stay on that warm call until they've gotten onto that content, so that you can pre-sell them. And if you pre-sell them, how do you think the sales call is going to go, right? It's almost like taking their credit card on file, right? So what you want to do during that warm call, if you want to go a step further, is actually, obviously confirming that they have the invite, the meeting link, all that stuff, yada, 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 but also getting feedback from them on the sales process so far, like whether or not they found it valuable. And 2 is redirecting them, literally saying like, here, I'm about to send you a link. Can you please let me know when you've clicked on that link and when you start watching the video? And then you wait for them to click on the link. That is going to be super useful and super helpful for you and your business and your triagers in order to actually increase your show rate, provide value throughout your sales process, and pre-sell your leads. And I'll also increase your conversions, right? So that's some sauce, and this is something that you can do in the warm call stage of your sales process. Now, obviously, you get to the closing call. These can vary from 1 or 2 call closes. The maximum amount of closes or closing calls that I do in a sales process is 2, and it really depends on what you're selling. Because if you're selling like a high ticket package to businesses and it's B2B, you're more likely to go down the route of the 2 call close process. Or if it's something like a high ticket package for like fitness coaches or like fitness coaching prospects, then you're probably going to do a 1 call close, because those don't really require many calls, right? It's not B2B, it's more so B2C, if that makes sense, right? Even though you could be targeting executives, but that's still B2C, right? So it depends on what you're selling, but the closing call process usually should be 1 to 2 calls, 2 calls as the maximum, okay? Now, you want to obviously have a closer taking these calls. Same exact 3 places that you can have, although I wouldn't really outsource your closes to a Filipino closer. I would go to the one platform, Closify or Upwork. Those 2 have a higher chance or higher probability of you finding someone that's actually really good. But Closify, out of the 2, Upwork and Closify, I would highly recommend Closify. Again, Luke Alexander's place is pretty good, right? Now, the next thing is, between the closing call and the onboarding call, there's a few things that you can do to really get the most out of that prospect. 1 is obviously collect the cash up front on that call. 2 is as you've closed them, right? Like leading up to that onboarding call, right? Right before you finish the closing call, like you've taken payment, you've basically gotten them to sign the contract. What you're going to do is you're going to ask them for a referral. Now, the way that I go about this is I say that I like to call it like an incentive-based referral. And the reason for that is you're going to provide them some sort of incentive and say, hey, by the way, I just want to let you know, like, I'm super glad that you've joined the team, but we also do offer like this exclusive package or like this exclusive add-on if you're able to provide us any other referrals, which could be XYZ. So for agencies, it could be like ad spend credit. For coaching businesses, it could be like a free video content production day, like something like that. So what I like to do is personally, since content or like video production is sometimes an add-on to my service, I like to say like, hey, by the way, now since we've signed, would you be open to sending us some more referrals? And what we'll do is we'll actually throw in a few video content production shoots completely for free into this package. Does that sound good? Cool. And then from there, on the onboarding call, what you're going to do is you're obviously going to invite them, but then you're also going to invite that referral prospect of theirs. They're going to give you the email, they're going to give you the name, and then you can send the invitation to them both. And you can ask them to tell them about it and tell them that they've signed with us or your business. And now you have two prospects on that onboarding call, one that's already closed and one that could be in closing process afterwards. So that's some sauce for you guys. And final thing. How do we track show rates? How do we track closes? Now, what you're going to do is it still requires some manual work, but what you're going to do is you're going to get your closer to actually fill out a form. Now, this form can be created in HighLevel. I'm sure a lot of you guys that watch these videos already use GoHighLevel, the software. It's this little logo right here. If you don't know what it is, but you can search up HighLevel in Google and you'll see that it's a CRM. But if you already use HighLevel, what I would recommend is creating a form, right? And then creating an automation associated with that form where in the form it asks basically, did that prospect show up? Yes, no. Did the prospect close? Yes, no. If so, how much did they close for? And then you can put in like $3,000, $8,000, whatever amount they close for, right? And then from there, you can also automate two things. So obviously, if you put yes, they showed up, and yes, they closed in the sales tracking sheet, once you've basically created a webhook from GoHighLevel to Zapier to Google Sheets, which you can access and watch in this video. It's also going to be linked in the description below. You can automate this entire process. And then from there, you can also automate this form to go to Slack and your internal communication so that your fulfillment team can receive that notification and it could say like new client, name, how much they paid for, notes, and then from there, they can immediately call them to eliminate buyer's remorse. Now, this is one huge thing that you're going to want to cover. Buyer's remorse is super important because sometimes we make decisions into buying into something, which is totally fine, but then afterwards we start to kind of question as to whether or not we made the right decision. So the most important thing and the best thing that we can do in that scenario to give reassurance to your prospect or whoever you signed is by calling them immediately from someone else or someone that has sort of like a higher significance within the company, right? To basically say, hey, Lisa, I'm super glad that you joined. I just wanted to quickly give you a phone call just to congratulate you on going with us and making a huge change in your life. That's like as small of a thing as that is huge for your prospect and in terms of how they're going to feel about going with you guys, because the better that you make them feel, the more that you communicate with them, the more that you kind of maintain positive communication, obviously they're going to feel better about your business going into it after signing, right? Because a lot of clients, they get that buyer's remorse and from there they're kind of like, oh, okay, can I get a refund? Like I feel kind of pressured into this. And then they start making all these, different excuses and like we just don't want to deal with that, right? So what you want to do is automate, basically create a form for your closers to fill out as soon as they basically close a prospect and they leave the sales call. You can also actually you can also track and watch all of their sales calls through that form as well by basically putting like input your sales call in this form. This is what we did for one of our previous clients. You can see that we put a call recording link, client notes, meeting status, showed or no showed, program chosen, prospect phone, email, name, whatever. All right, but you guys get the point. You can put sales calls, show rates, close rates, and that all goes back into a tracking sheet where at the end of the month, you can see how much you're closing, how many people are showing, how many appointments are being booked from the leads that are coming in, right? So all of this stuff can be tracked. And the reason why this is super important, like I said, is so that we can make logical, not emotional decisions. Okay? So again, I hope you guys found this video valuable. I didn't want this video to be that long because I know there's a lot. But again, if you guys feel like after everything that I mentioned so far, 3 things come up for you, which is I don't know how to do this, or I don't have the time to do this, or it's maybe one of those 2, but I just want someone who knows their stuff to do this for me, then click the link below in the video description and go to my website. Apply to work with me and my team. It's totally up to you. I don't really care. But I hope you guys got a ton of value from this video. This is, just gold dust, right? At the end of the day, I know a very few of you are going to watch this, but if you do watch up until the end of this video, you're going to get a lot of value from this. And, obviously me sharing this video in the description of the video below, watch this so that you can literally see how you can automate your GoHighLevel, Zapier, and Google Sheet tracking so that you can basically track your sales, track your business, and scale to 100K a month and above. Otherwise, if you guys, enjoyed this video, leave a comment, drop a like, drop some feedback as well if there's anything you'd like me to improve, if there's anything else you'd like to see, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.